Early in the morning.
What's going on, the people? It's your boy Cam, Topical Juice, and we are back with another episode of Topical Talks. If you guys don't really know what Topical Talks is, it's kind of like the segment of my channel that I actually started the YouTube channel off on, really, which is the segment of the channel where I talk about things like mental health, race, it could be discussions, it could be social media, how does social media affect relationships, anything that's kind of discussion focused, to pick your brains, to bounce off each other, to get some opinions on, do you know what I'm saying? So this video is all about therapy. I'm just going to tell you about my experience and do I think it's worth it, do you know what I'm saying? And ultimately I do think it's worth it, and I actually think everyone should do therapy all the time, even when life is good, not just when it's bad, do you understand? So like the video for me, it's road to 50k, please press that subscribe button, you know I'm trying to get there. Couch Chronicles videos are coming very, very soon. We're going to be dropping little marketing gems, little parts, little drops, little nuggets, little shorts, all sorts are coming, man. So stay tuned, bell to be notified, and merchandise is in the description below. Pick up a nice little pillow, you know where to find those Topical Juice pillows, merchandise, TJ jumpers, you know the vibes already. So let's get into this. Let's dumb the waffling thing. Now, I want to start by saying I've got a lot of therapists in my life. I've got a lot of friends who I can open up to and be very transparent with and get a really good perspective about things. I've got so many. And there's no real difference between my actual therapist and my friends. It's the same thing. I'm a transparent, open book anyway. I'll tell my friends certain things, I'll get their perspective the same way I'll tell my therapist certain things. So I'm very fortunate that I have a lot of people in my life who can play that role for me. However, the reason why it's important for me to actually have a therapist is because they will have a different level of understanding, they'll have a different levels of qualifications, they will target certain things that I may not have noticed or my friends may not notice. It's great that I've got people in my life that will listen to me. It's another thing having someone who's actually a professional, you know what I'm saying? So I was keen to see the difference between them. Now, before I started therapy, I spent 25, 26 years of my life thinking, nah, I don't need this. Because the way my mentality was, and it still is to an extent, but I'm a lot more open-minded, I've dropped a lot of my ego. My mentality was, I know myself so well. I'm not dumb, I'm intelligent, I'm emotionally intelligent, I'm introspective, and I'm perceptive. I thought to myself, I know myself so well. I know what trauma has affected me and how. How can someone new tell me something I don't know about myself? Do you know what I'm saying? I couldn't see it. I thought, you don't know me. Yeah, I can tell you stuff about my experience, but you don't know me. I know me. I had to humble myself. And at the back end of last year, when I started therapy, I really humbled myself and I said, you know what, Cam, you don't know yourself as well as you think you do. You're not the greatest at controlling your emotions. You don't understand why you do things as much as you thought you did. And I said that to my therapist on day one. He said, why are you here? I said, bro, I self-sabotage. All I do is self-sabotage. I know my potential. I know my ceiling is infinite. I know the impact I can make on this world. And the reason I know that is because I've made impacts on people's lives just off the back of YouTube. And that's not an arrogant thing. That's just the facts. Like, people have been DMing me for the last 4 years, even when I had 200 subscribers, 300 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers. People were saying, Cam, your videos have helped me here. Thank you so much for this. We need more men to talk about this, or thank you so much. You know what I'm saying? That's humbling for me. That made it real to me. That makes doing all this real. So I know that I can make an impact on people for the better. But for me to do that in the best way possible, I need to be the best version of myself. Do you understand? So I said, you know what, Cam, you don't know yourself as well as possible. You need to talk to someone so you can understand why you self-sabotage the way you do, how you can know what's good for you, how you can know what's best for you, but yet you purposely and consciously do the complete opposite. Why? Why do you do that? Why do you hate yourself so much? These are the questions that I'm asking myself, do you understand? I want to know, why do I self-sabotage? So that's the reason why I started, because I thought, I don't know myself as well as I thought I did. I need to understand why I do certain things. Yeah, I can understand why I am the person I am. Yeah, I can understand why I lean on this, or I lean on that, or I lean on that as a different form of escapism. I understand that. But there's a difference when you talk to a therapist about these things, all right? Now, one key piece of advice, guys. If you're anything like me and you're already quite an introspective person, do not wait for a eureka moment. Do not anticipate or expect a light bulb moment every single time you have a therapy session, because they don't necessarily tell you the answer. They let you kind of talk and figure out the answer for yourself a lot of the time. Now, don't go into therapy thinking this person's gonna say, okay, I've analyzed this, this, and this about you, and this is what I think it is. I think you need to look at this. I think you need to focus on this, etc., etc. That's not been my experience. There hasn't necessarily been a eureka moment because I know a lot of it myself. But hearing it from someone else, it resonates with you a lot more, rather than you thinking of it just simply from yourself. Does that make sense? So it's like, what my therapist will do, for example, is I'll be talking. And I'll be ranting and raving for 10 minutes I could be talking for. I could be talking for 5 minutes straight. I wouldn't let my therapist get a word in edgeways. 6 minutes later, after I'm done venting about this topic, he'll sit there. And it's funny, because man never did it. It's so funny, because I was even telling my friends about this when I first ever started. Therapists are actually so funny. My therapist is like a stereotypical therapist in the way I imagine one. So I'll talk for 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and he'll sit there. 10 seconds. 15 seconds. 20 seconds could pass. Silence. He's just like this. He's thinking. The word torment is jumping out to me. What made you use that word? Or something like that, you know what I'm saying? So what he'll do is he'll isolate. He'll listen to me for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and he'll isolate either a sentence or a specific word. And he'll want to dig deeper into that. What was the reason behind that? Why did that word jump out to you? What does that word even mean to you? Do you understand? And then you start to peel back the layers. Now, something that my therapist is very, very good at is communicating in the same way that I communicate. So I'm a very visual person. For example, I was explaining to him how in 2020, when I forgave people and I let go of a lot of my demons, I thought I'd done it. 25 years of torment, 25 years of demons, 25 years of not really knowing what happiness feels like on a day-to-day basis. I did it. I quit my job. I took that leap. I quit my job. I ain't doing a 9 to 5 no more. I thought I was free. And I said to him, I thought I'd solved the puzzle, because my mind, the way my mind works, it's very fragmented. Guys, I'll keep it true with you. I've told my therapist all the time, I am insane. You might not see it because, oh yeah, I'm articulate, I'm smart, or whatever. I come across normal on the camera. Guys, I'm not normal. I'm very complicated mentally, and I'm not all there. My marbles ain't all there. My mind is so fragmented. It's like a puzzle. I thought I'd solved the puzzle. And what he's so good at doing is he uses the same language that I use back to me. So he says, how about this, Cam? He said, when we make puzzles, we create the border first. When we make puzzles, we do the outline first. That's the foundation of a puzzle. And then we fill in the inside. Maybe in 2020, the work you had done on yourself, it might not have completed the puzzle, but you might have built the outside, the formation, the border. So now it's up to us working together, etc., to build the inside and flesh out the inside. I like that. I like you using that form of communication on me, because I'm a very visual person. That's the way I describe things. I describe things like imagery. That's how I describe my feelings, because that's the way that's the best way I can articulate it, through analogies and metaphors. And he speaks that back to me. That's what I really like. He speaks in my language. But as I said, if you're waiting for a eureka moment, a light bulb moment where things are just going to fall into place, that's not true. I've been talking to him for 4 months, and 4 months in, we still haven't even peeled back the layers of some of the things that I've been through in my life. Do you understand? Even though I can openly talk about certain things, 4 months in, we still ain't spoken about stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many layers, there's so many things that I have to unpack. So if you're waiting for a eureka moment or a light bulb moment, don't. Because, well, it may happen for you, but it never happened for me. Especially if you're already introspective. For me, he's helped me understand that I don't know myself as well as I thought I do. I understand why, okay, this learned behavior from my dad has affected me. This divorce may have affected me. My identity issues here may have affected me. This trauma here may have affected me. That trauma there may have affected me in this way, that way, and that way. I already know that. But he's actually helped me understand that I'm not the best at dealing with my emotions. Yeah, in public, I'm good at dealing with my emotions. Yeah, I don't lash out in public no more. I'm not aggressive in public no more. I don't display antisocial behaviors in public no more. But he's helped me understand that I've redirected a lot of that anger that I had towards the world. I redirected it towards myself. And when he said that, that was like a mini eureka moment. Oh shit, he's right. I have. I spent 22, 23, 24 years being furious at the world around me. When 2020, when I'd calmed down a lot and I'd forgiven, what I'd done is I was no longer angry at the world. I'd redirected that anger towards myself. That's where the self-sabotaging starts to come back in. I know I would benefit from this, this, and this, but I choose to do this, this, and this. Because I still haven't fully dealt with what I thought I dealt with. I haven't fully coped with it. Because it is so deep-rooted. The person I am in front of you right now, the behaviors, how I've dealt with emotions, how I deal with humans, how I deal with myself, that was all formed in adolescence. That was all formed in childhood. It was then solidified in my teenage years, and then it culminated in a mental breakdown at 22 years old when I broke down in front of my mum. You understand? But he's made me realize how key those, well, I realized it again, I kind of realized this myself, but he just reaffirmed it, how key those first 5 to 10 years of your life are. Things that can happen in those years can create habits, can create behaviors that you don't even realize are being formed, and then they are then solidified and cemented in your teenage years, and then they rear their ugly head in your 20s and into adulthood. Do you understand? So we are now trying to understand how I can deal with my emotions better. Anytime I'm triggered, anytime I'm stressed, anytime I'm annoyed, anytime I'm sad, don't go and escape in this way. Don't go and find comfort in this. Don't go and do that. Sit with the emotion. Sit with it, embrace it, and let it pass. Find your inner peace. These are the type of things that I'm actively trying to learn. He helped me understand that 6, 7, 8-year-old Cam, 9-year-old Cam didn't know how to articulate or communicate what he's dealing with. He helped me try and give that version of Cam a voice that Cam never had. He's asked me before, if that Cam could communicate what he was going through at that time, what would he say? Now you've got the words. And that way of thinking is very powerful, because you can then take your mind back to that person that you were and communicate what it really is that you were feeling. Those feelings that you internalized. What was that? As a child, you couldn't communicate that. You don't know what's normal and what's not. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what's traumatic and what's not until you get older and realize, oh shit, this is mad. Do you understand? That has really helped me. What would that past version of Cam say if he had your current communication? It's something to think about. Guys, if you've been through adverse childhood experiences and things like that, what would that version of you say now? If you could speak, if you could give that version a voice. That's helped me think, yeah, he would say this, he would say that. And then you can deal with it, you can deal with things differently and learn to process things differently if you can really communicate the feeling that you've been feeling. Does that make sense? So yeah, my therapist has helped me like in that sense as well, for sure. Now don't get me wrong here, guys. There's a lot of good things in my life that have happened. My mum has done amazing things. I had presents at Christmas, I had presents at birthday. I was fortunate enough to have holidays in my youth, you understand? I was fortunate in that sense to have a bed to sleep on, you get me? Like, in my early life, we were never rich, but as I've gotten older, we are way more comfortable than ever before. So as far as like that goes, and certain opportunities, it's been great. Aside from that, life has been very hard. But ultimately, guys, I recommend every single person start therapy. I've been in a great place at the start of this year, and I was still going therapy. And I was in a dark place towards the end of last year, and I was going therapy. It was worth it all the time. But it's very important you choose the right therapist. My therapist had to be black. That was imperative, that was non-negotiable. Because I can't talk to a white person about identifying as black and all these things and how that affected my mental health growing up and coming home to a white family who aren't really understanding the world and all these things that a white therapist ain't gonna understand any of that. So it's like that was important for me to have a black therapist. Again, that's pivotal. You should definitely do your due diligence when it comes to a therapist, but I'm grateful that the first therapist I've had properly is perfect for me. Guys, let me know your thoughts. Have you guys been doing therapy? Have you done therapy before? Has it helped? Has it not? It's not gonna work for everyone. I'm not gonna lie to you. As I said, I've got loads of therapists in my life. I could come to any of my friends anytime, any way. I don't need to pay for therapy. You know what I'm saying? Or my mum doesn't have to pay for therapy. I've got a lot of people in my life that can be my therapist, but it does give me structure. Every Wednesday, I know at 2 p.m. I'm gonna be talking so and so this, so and so that. You know what I'm saying? But don't get me wrong, like I've been through so much in my life. I'm not one of these people that get triggered. You understand? Like I can talk about the maddest of things that have happened and I've experienced and I've seen or whatever. And I won't leave all crying and stuff. But I'm built like that. But some people, when they reflect on their trauma, they will cry. It's deep for them. It's very triggering. Like my mum, I think every single time I leave therapy, my mum thinks I'm gonna be like, like all nervous. Nah. I've dealt with all this stuff. I'm really strong. Like I'm really about that. Life can't get the better of me. It really can't. I can talk about certain things and literally leave therapy like it never happened. I can leave therapy, go on a walk, write music, do my thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool. I don't wallow in sadness and wallow in pain. I did for a lot of my life, but I don't do that no more. It's not where I want to put my energy. So again, trigger warning. When you go into therapy and you do unpack some of your stuff, yeah, you could get triggered. But some of you might just be like me and you roll with the punches and you keep it moving. Life is life and life is hard. So, but anyway, guys, I'd fully recommend it. Let me know your thoughts. I'm just a man in his 20s. Peace.